is our second annual Conversation in Concert with Delfio Marsalis, who serves as our ADC Artistic Music Director. Conversation in Concert is an important part of our work because it highlights the interconnection of education, history, culture, and the role it plays in the uplift of communities.
Yo, what's up everyone? It's your boy Randy Jackson here. I know y'all are all looking amazing and enjoying that great food and that Southern hospitality down in my love city of New Orleans. I'm proud of you, Cassie, and the African Diaspora Consortium team and all the great resources you've been putting out into this world. And I'm honored to be a part of tonight's event. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, but I still had to make my presence known. Delfio, my boy, I know you're looking sharp, man. I know you're holding it down like I taught you to. Yo, you know what I'm saying? But for real though, dog, I know you're giving the people a wonderful show tonight. I know it's on fire down there. Y'all have a good time. You're in New Orleans. That's what good times are had. And appreciate you, Cassie. Appreciate you, Delfio. See you next year.
I think that as I have this conversation with Delfio, that this is sort of a continuation of what we were talking about several months ago. And one of the things that I do love about what you said when we talked about Congo Square, we had this conversation about the education of the African diaspora and why it was so important for us to continue that conversation and to share that education. Could you share that with the audience today?
I've written liner notes to this effect, is that as descendants of African people or as African Americans, that we all have an obligation and a responsibility. If it's important to us that people know about the greatness of our ancestors, then that's our single responsibility. And we take for granted, you know, for example, that the music in New Orleans, people love the music. Yeah, that's the Africanism they love. They love the dance. Yeah, that's the Africanism. They love the food. Yeah, that's the Africanism. They love that Southern hospitality. And now this is one where, you know, you watch Gone with the Wind and these kind of silly movies, and you might think that it was something other than, man, the Africans came down here and they dealt with the most severe, the harshest situation possible. And they embraced all of that hatred with love. And they figured, they said, because they understood that, you know, we are all here serving the higher power. Whatever your beliefs are, you have to know that we're just here for a short period of time. And that belief is that we have to try our best to leave the world in a better place than we found it, but also just to share that love. And, you know, I think that that's what we're losing a hold of that in the current years and current time.
Well, in discussing history and discussing culture, we've had this discussion before about how important the city of New Orleans, you know, the education of the history and the culture and the arts in the city of New Orleans plays a role in sharing that experience of the African diaspora. Why is that?
Well, it's as Dr. Cassie Freeman informed me, Congo Square serves as a microcosm for what took place all over the world, where the African people were getting together and finding a way to have connectivity because they found themselves in a situation that was completely disconnected, where they couldn't have their own agency. And, you know, they had to everything was a struggle. You know, that's the brilliance of the dominant culture. They say, man, every single thing is going to be a struggle. I had an uncle named Delfio, and Uncle Delph, man, he would say, man, these folks wouldn't want to pay you a penny. He said it didn't matter how much work you did or your degrees, or if you got paid a penny, they felt like it was too much. So, you know, that type of feeling, folks are able to turn that around and turn it into something beautiful. Like, yeah, okay, we know that you want it to be a struggle. It's got to be a struggle, but I'm going to come on the other side of this struggle. And that's what was going on. Congo Square is really significant because New Orleans, and let me just say briefly, you know, the great thing about New Orleans is that we were settled by the Spanish and the French. And most other places, they were settled by they were colonized by the British. And the British was like, no, get them drums away from them Africans. We don't know what they planning. Whereas the French and the Spanish were like, yeah, this is a pretty job situation, but you know, let's see what y'all got. Y'all like the drums? Okay, what y'all gonna do with the drums? So it gave the folks a chance to really have things for themselves, whereas in the other places, there was so much fear because they knew what they were doing was jive and it was wrong and that there was going to be payback at some point, some kind of way. But the great thing about New Orleans is that folks were allowed to have some type of agency and ability to get together.
Thank you so much. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Delfeayo Marsalis.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Ms. Gibson. And sorry, y'all, I'm excited. I wish I could be there, and I'm there in spirit. Looking forward to hearing some great music.